Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Podcast for Education. My name is Onoja. Today on the mathematics subject, we have Miss Qeen, and she'll be treating the topic factors and multiples. This is for the students in Year 3.
Hello learners, I'm Miss Qeen and I'll be your mathematics teacher for today. I'll be teaching Primary 3. So get your pencil, get your ruler and get your papers ready as we learn. Again, our topic is factors and multiples of numbers. We'll be looking at the meaning of factors, the meaning of multiples, and how to get the factors and multiples of some numbers. In lower classes, we've learned about multiplication of numbers. In maths, factors and multiples are two different concepts, but they both involve multiplication and division. What are factors? Factors are all numbers we can multiply to get a given number. A factor is also one of two or more numbers that divides a given number without a remainder. Factor gives us a way to break down a number into smaller pieces. Now multiples. Multiples are what we get after multiplying a number by another whole number. A multiple is also a number that can be divided by another number without a remainder. So let's try and find the multiples and factors of some numbers. We'll start by finding factors. Find the factors of the number 16. We can find the factor of 16 by thinking about numbers that would divide into 16 evenly and or all numbers that we can multiply. 1 is a factor of 16 because 1 can be divided into 16 without any remainder. So 16 divided by 1 equals 16. The quotient, which is 16, is also a factor of 16. Also, by multiplying, 1 times 16 equals 16. Again, 2 is also a factor of 16 because 2 can be divided into 16 without any remainder. So 16 divided by 2 equals 8. The quotient, which is 8, is also a factor of 16. If you multiply 2 by 8, you also get 16. Another factor of 16 is 4. 4 can be divided by 16 without a remainder. So 16 divided by 4 equals 16. And the quotient, which is 4, which has already been discovered, is also a factor of 16. Therefore, we say that the factors of 16 are 1, 16, 2, 8, and 4. Here are some factor hints you must know. Factor hint number 1 is every number has 1 as a factor. So 1 is a factor of 10, 1 is a factor of 365, and 1 is also a factor of 50. So every number has 1 as a factor. Also, every number has itself as a factor. That's the hint number 2. So 41 is a factor of 41. 128 is a factor of 128. 4,379 is also a factor of 4,379. Another hint is we have what we call factor pairs. Two numbers that we multiply together to get a certain product are called factor pairs. To get the product of 8, we can multiply 1 times 8 and 2 times 4. So the factor pairs for 8 are 1 and 8 and 2 and 4. Now let's find the factor pairs of 20. Remember, we're looking for two whole numbers that we can multiply together to get 20. So we'll start with 1 because we know that 1 is a factor of every number. So we multiply 1 times 20 to get 20. So 20 is also a factor. Now let's check to see whether the next counting number 2 is a factor. Is there a whole number we can multiply by 2 to get 20? Yes. 2 times 10 equals 20. So 2 and 10 are another factor pair of 20. The next counting number is 3. Is there any whole number you can multiply with 3 to get 20? The answer is no. So 3 is not a factor of 20. Now, can we multiply 4 by a whole number to get 20? Yes. 4 times 5 equals 20. So 4 and 5 are a factor pair. The next counting number after 4 is 5. Now, since 5 already appears in the list, we now have found all the factors of 20. So, 1, 20, 2, 10, 4, and 5 are the factors of 20. Now let's dive into finding multiples. Multiples are numbers that result when we multiply whole numbers by another whole number. The first 4 multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, and 12 because 3 times 1 equals 3, 3 times 2 equals 6, 3 times 3 equals 9, and 3 times 4 equals 12. Some other multiples of 3 are 15, 30, and 300. Because 3 times 5 is 15, 3 times 10 is 30, and 3 times 100 is 300. We can never list all the multiples of a number as it keeps adding up and we keep getting new multiples. So most times, the number of multiples to list in question is defined. Say for example, find the first 5 multiples of 5. Or say find the 5 multiples of 2. Or the question could also be, what are the next 4 multiples of 7? Now, how does factor and multiples relate? Let's use this example to explain. We have 4 and 7. 4 and 7 are factors of 28 because they both can divide evenly into 28. Now, 28 is a multiple of 4 and it's also a multiple of 7 because you can multiply these two numbers and your product will be 28. Now we understand what factors are and what multiples are. The list for multiples are endless, but for factors you can always get all the factors of a particular number. Thumbs up to you learners for taking part in today's class. I'm super excited you've learned how to find your factors and multiples when given a particular number. Now I want you to keep practicing by getting numbers and finding their factors and multiples. Next class we're going to learn more on this. Till then, keep flexing your math muscles. I'll see you in the next class. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Podcast for Education. Remember, for feedbacks and questions, you can always hit us up across any of our social media handles on Facebook or Instagram at Africa Business Radio, Twitter at Africa Biz Radio. To listen to this particular episode or any other episode of the Podcast for Education, you can log on to our website, www.africabusinessradio.com, to do so. I am Onoja, saying, do not stop learning.